Australia is reeling after a devastating terrorist attack targeted the Jewish community during a Hanukkah celebration at Bondi Beach in Sydney. What was meant to be a joyful evening marking the first night of the Festival of Lights turned into a scene of terror, leaving at least 11 people dead and 29 others injured. More than 1,000 people, including families, children and elderly community members, had gathered along the beach to celebrate Hanukkah, a sacred Jewish holiday symbolizing faith, resilience, and light overcoming darkness. As the crowd prepared to light the first candle on the menorah, gunfire suddenly erupted, shattering the peaceful atmosphere. According to Australian authorities, 2 attackers opened fire from a nearby bridge, shooting into the open area where the crowd had assembled. Panic spread instantly. People ran in all directions, desperately seeking cover as bullets struck the crowd. Graphic and harrowing videos shared online show families screaming, parents shielding their children and celebrants fleeing across the sand in fear. Police responded within minutes. One of the attackers was killed at the scene, while the second was critically injured and taken into custody. Investigators later revealed that an explosive device had been found inside a nearby vehicle and safely removed, raising serious concerns that the attackers intended to cause even greater loss of life. Authorities have officially labelled the incident a terrorist attack. It has since emerged that one of the suspects was previously known to Australian security services, although officials stated there was no prior intelligence suggesting an imminent threat. The investigation remains ongoing as police work to determine the attacker's motives, connections, and whether others may have been involved. Amid the chaos, one man's extraordinary courage stood out. Ahmed, a 43-year-old storekeeper, husband, and father of 2, saw one of the gunmen nearby. Armed with nothing but instinct and bravery, he rushed toward the attacker, tackled him, and wrestled the weapon from his hands. His actions prevented further gunfire and likely saved countless lives. As Ahmed struggled with the attacker, a second gunman opened fire, striking him in the shoulder and arm. Despite his injuries, Ahmed survived and is currently recovering in hospital. He had no prior weapons training, according to his family. Across Australia and beyond, he has been hailed as a hero, a symbol of humanity and courage in the face of evil. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese condemned the attack in the strongest terms, calling it an act of evil and a deliberate assault on Jewish Australians. He emphasized that the attack was driven by anti-Semitic hatred, targeting a peaceful religious celebration on one of the holiest nights of the Jewish calendar. This was an attack not just on one community, but on the values of Australia itself, the Prime Minister said, vowing that those responsible would be held accountable and that the government would strengthen protections for vulnerable communities. The attack has drawn international condemnation. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu criticized what he described as a global rise in anti-Semitism and urged governments to take stronger action. He also publicly praised Ahmed's bravery, calling his intervention an extraordinary act of moral courage that saved lives. For members of the Jewish community, the pain is deeply personal. Survivors described the Bondi Beach Hanukkah event as one of the most cherished traditions of the year. A family-friendly celebration filled with music, children's activities, and shared joy. That joy was replaced by horror. What? Among the victims were a beloved rabbi, described by friends as a kind and devoted leader, and a 12-year-old girl who later died from her injuries in hospital. Families have spoken of searching desperately for loved ones, waiting for answers, and facing the unbearable reality of sudden loss. One grieving widow told reporters she could not even locate her husband's body in the aftermath of the attack. "I never imagined something like this could happen in Australia," she said. "I am angry, heartbroken and lost." Jonathan Greenblatt, CEO of the Anti-Defamation League, said the tragedy reflects a disturbing trend. According to ADL data, incidents of harassment, vandalism and violence against Jewish communities in Australia have risen by nearly 500% since October. Synagogues have been attacked, Jewish businesses vandalized, and people harassed in public simply for their identity. Stressed that while Jewish communities have increased security measures, hatred cannot be defeated by walls and guards alone. He called on political leaders to speak out forcefully against incitement and urged people of all faiths to stand together against anti-Semitism. Despite the grief, community leaders emphasized resilience. On the first night of Hanukkah, menorahs will still be lit, not in fear but in remembrance and defiance of hate. Jewish leaders encouraged both Jewish and non-Jewish allies to attend public menorah lightings and stand united against violence. This tragedy has left deep scars on Australia. Yet, amid the darkness, stories of courage, compassion and solidarity have emerged. The nation now faces the challenge of healing, rebuilding trust, and ensuring that faith, diversity, and peaceful coexistence are protected for future generations.